not professional, but they were a professional chef. This was someone that could do things in the kitchen that you would find in most restaurants, but this was someone that really had an extreme talent in the kitchen, not just regular food. This feels like this was a little beyond that, well beyond that. I feel like the passion was in the kitchen, and it was entertaining people and bringing joy to people through this ability. Again, I'm not talking about a regular, great cook. This was someone that could really entertain the troops. And I feel like they did this on a regular basis for not only family, but friends. And it feels like this is I feel like I have a woman in spirit, but there's also a gentleman with her. I feel like there's two people here, but it's really the cooking side that they're really bringing to me. She feels like she wished she could have passed on this legacy to someone else, and I think she did to a degree, but it wasn't probably there wasn't as much interest as she would have had in the person that it was passed on to. I get the feeling too that this woman had a deep spiritual inner, energy. I don't know that she was a constant churchgoer, but I feel like there was something about her spirituality where this really stood out. Woman, I felt like there's a huge spiritual feel just because of who she is, not what she believes. She wants me to reference something about the silverware. And it doesn't, okay. It's, I don't know if it was passed down or if it was part of the set that you were able to get. It feels like there was way more than that, but that was the prize piece in your eyes to get that set.
I feel like she was a soft and gentle spirit. Feels like she was almost never boisterous, never confrontational. But beyond that, it feels like she was very just a soft and gentle spirit. It feels like she was a peacemaker. It feels like if somebody came into her path and they were jumbled, that she would be able to make calm of that somehow and make sense of that. That she would be able to say to them what they needed to hear. It feels like she's just bringing that to me specifically, that she didn't say the things that someone else wanted to hear, but she said the things that she felt like they needed instead of just what they wanted to hear. That she was bold enough in her own skin to be able to stand her ground and talk to them in those terms. I feel like she was a tough lady when she had to be, that she was given those life tests like we all are, but I feel like she had 3 major bumps in her life, and it feels like 2 of them would have turned her 180. But yes, and that the 3rd one was how life treats us all, but 2 of them certainly would have turned her 180.
Which do any of you have the beauty queen in the group?
Yes. 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 Okay.
So this is your mom?
This would be our grandmother.
Grandmother.
And the beauty queen is her daughter, and Helen, and that would be one of the 3 hits in her life.
Okay.
All right. Did she not drive for a long time? She didn't drive? Okay. Okay. Sometimes we continue those thoughts that we have and we don't need to. That was wonderful. And when I looked out her, did she live in one house most of her world? Yes. And when I looked out her back window, would I have seen land around her? Even if it wasn't hers, would I have seen pasture or land? around her open land, yes. And she's making me feel like that was part of her joy, part of her joy. She enjoyed standing at her back window or her back door and seeing that happen. And in that same vision, that same little movie that's going in my mind, it feels like there was the regular rope tree swing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, okay.
That'll do it every time. Is she related to a furrier?
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
And you carried on the cooking? And the,
And her rolling punch.
Her rolling, and that's so important. Absolutely, that rolling. Okay, good.
I can't remember.
No, she knows.
no,
She knows all those parts. And let's talk about that just for a minute, because what happens is I test myself. Why I do that, that's like stupid, but I test myself to see if, okay, let's talk about her and you and what you've just been doing, okay? And it has to do with cooking, and it feels like just last week, and I could be wrong on that, but she's just giving me one, that you would have pulled out a recipe of hers and looked at it that you had not seen for a very, very long time. And she was there when you did that, and so that's her way of Yay! Oh, her book. Oh,
And I made
good.
her sugar cookies. I baked all during Christmas.
Yay.
And sent them to the family. And she was there, and I always asked her to help me, Grandma.
All right. Well, she's right there beside you doing exactly that. So just know that she's